I wanted to make sure that everybody, we all felt like a big family. Yeah. And to me, making movie is a huge privilege, and it should be fun. Wow. So, and I'm glad that it was a really fun experience.
It's so good seeing you again. The last time we spoke was right before Everything Everywhere South by Southwest premiere. And
I remember that night well.
You're so good in that movie, obviously, but I was curious if even on that night, did you have an inkling you wanted to lead your own action movie next?
No, I was just so happy and so grateful to be part of that journey, Everything Everywhere. It was my first time back as an actor, and when we premiered Everything Everywhere at South by Southwest, and see myself first time on the screen after so many years was, one was incredible and also very emotional for me. I was just so happy to have a job. I wasn't thinking, one day I'm going to be leading, having my own Valentine's action movie. No. What do you want, Rose?
A secured outcome, no matter the cost.
Exactly what outcome?
I want my life back, and I need you to help me. That's all.
Is it fair to say that you two had a solid rapport after the awards season in 2023?
Yeah, we did. We really did. I can safely say it's so nice to have been on a set and had my beliefs about a person affirmed. Sometimes that doesn't happen. But he is everything that you want him to be. He is charming, he's lovely, he's just so generous. And we've worked from a place of kind of like, I guess, mutual admiration and respect, and it made for a really fun sandbox. We could take some big risks, whether it be in a fight sequence or just in a scene, and feel safe to do it together.
But you obviously, like Jonathan, have a wonderful history in martial arts and working in stunts. And I was curious, when you found out about this project, did that shared history help you understand what this vision could be and help execute it?
Yeah, he's been a veteran doing action for 20 years, and finally, he's getting his big break as a director. And I've done action for many years, but not as an actor, but as someone working behind the camera. So we kind of share that journey together. And honestly, from the very get-go, we knew what kind of action movies what kind of action movie we wanted to make, which is kind of an homage to those incredible Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung movies from the early 80s, where you see the actors doing all the fights themselves. So that was established very early on. But in order to get there, I was training with our action team for a long time. And and mentally, I think I can do anything. But physically, that was a different story because I haven't done it for so long. So it was a really challenging but fun process, and I'm very proud that with all these incredible action sequences we have in the movie.
I want to say, Jonathan, you've worked on some of the most striking action movies of the last decade, whether as AD or stunt coordinator, John Wick, The Fall Guy, Birds of Prey. What about this story made it one you felt needed to be your directorial debut feature?
Well, when I decided to get into directing, I was getting a lot of scripts. And I just wanted to pick something for my debut as something that kind of sets me a little bit apart from my peers. And I read the script, I love the premise, I love the quirkiness of the characters, and there's a little bit of everything. There's like action, which I knew that's like my safe zone, but there's like a little bit of comedy and a little bit of romance. So I think for me, it allowed me to kind of spread my wings and have actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. In this movie, you got to play an action badass and really embrace that side of action choreography. And I was curious, as someone with such an extensive background in dance, was that a form of choreography you always wanted to explore more?
Yes. I mean, the short answer is yes. I mean, to me, I look at, fight sequences, action sequences, it's just another form of dance. It's the same palette, different colors. right? So it's like I'm not gonna fight from a blue space. I'm fighting from blood red burgundy and burnt orange, and like it was really fun, and it was very freeing because I could trust my body. I trusted the team around me, and they let me try different things. If you talk to JoJo, he would tell you that I was always like, "Can I do more? Can I like kick my legs more? I can do it." He was like, "We gotta build up. We gotta build up." But
Eye contact.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we're talking about you leading it and being the one on screen doing it all now, but you've worked with, some of the great all-time leading actors, Harrison Ford, Michelle Yeoh, etc. What about those experiences kind of taught you what it meant to be number one on the call sheet?
It meant a big deal because I saw how they did it. When they walk on the set, they make sure that everybody feel loved and welcomed, and feel that no matter what you were doing, what position you were in, that your contribution in the movie is just as important as theirs. And so for me, stepping onto the set of Love Hurts, I wanted to emulate that. I wanted to make sure that everybody, we all felt like a big family. Yeah. And to me, making movie is a huge privilege. And it should be fun. So, and I'm glad that it was a really fun experience.
There's a line in the movie that I thought was really striking, which is along the lines of hiding is not living.
Hiding ain't living. I loved that as as a motto for life. And I do believe that, as Ariana DeBose, I believe that. I don't think we as humans should have to hide. I think our light and our dark come together to make one person, and it's neither right nor wrong. It is, and I think our humanity, we have the right to fully express that. And I don't wish hiding on anyone for any reason.
What was it like working with Sean again on this one then?
Oh my gosh. A little Goonies reunion, to be able to share the screen with Sean again after 40 years. It was emotional for Gable in the movie, but also for me personally too, because when we shot our scenes together that day, Jeff Cohen, AKA Chunk, who was also my entertainment lawyer, came to visit. And he was watching, the monitor the whole time. And I felt like I was a kid again. And honestly, over the years, one of the most asked question is, will we ever get a Goonies sequel? So I don't know, but before that happens, this movie is kind of this little tease.
And the next one, you can just keep adding more cast members in it.
Yeah. Sean Astin, ladies and gentlemen.
Huy Quan, ladies and gentlemen. I've known him his whole life.
Yeah.
True, right?
Yeah. Goonies, brother. Goonies never say die.
One of the things that's so fun about this is, Key is such a surprising, delightful casting presence in this movie. And of course, he has a history of studying martial arts and working in stunts.
Right.
I was curious, did that background, was that something you two were able to connect with while building this?
Well, I already knew his background. So when we're deciding, who can play this character? Because I kind of wanted an unassuming guy that the audience wouldn't even know, when he does the switch, it's a total shock for them. And I wanted to showcase, we already know his range as an emotional, actor, but I wanted to show his physical prowess as a action actor. So knowing this, I already knew what he can do. So it just helped me in terms of, we didn't have a lot of big shooting schedule time. So him knowing this world already allowed us to concentrate more on the choreography and the moments, as opposed to teaching him from scratch.
Could you talk about maybe what he brings to this that is unique versus other actions?
Well, I think he's very relatable, and people really root for him, right? And him having this kind of background, in that stunt world, it just allows me to kind of really have fun with the choreography, because he can do it. You can go in longer takes, and the audience know we're not cheating them. We're not cheating them too much. It's him doing it. And when I'm saying that, I say that for the rest of my cast too. We try to really make sure that they can do a lot of the action pieces.
Well, related to that, I just want to say Marshawn Lynch. I had no idea could be this epic martial arts brawler. What made you think of him and having that contrast?
Well, we already knew. Like I watched him in Bottoms, and and there's like people are like, hey, we should try Marshawn Lynch, and he's very charming. Like the guy makes me laugh all the time. And because he's such a high-level athlete, I knew physically he can pick things up. But what I didn't really notice, what I didn't know about him was he's so good at what he does. Like, you can just give him a little bit of direction. Like, he can do anything physical. You just have to tell him how to do it. And he approaches everything in a kind of a very regimented, scientific way of doing things. Like, he's very intelligent in terms of understanding logistics of, like, training and kind of movement stuff, right? Because he's a great athlete. So it was actually very easy to kind of train him to do movie fights.
And the physicality between him and Key, it's so different, but it makes it so...
Well, that's what you want. Styles make fights. So it's like, okay, have him Key fight a big guy. I go, well, have him fight 2 big guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, how does he deal with that? It's like, okay, the next one's how do you deal with guys that's a bigger guy but deals with weapons and who's just as skilled as he is. And then it's like, okay, how does he deal with his his brother who's basically him but has a psychological edge on him. So it's like, again, when you're creating fights, you want to make sure the complementing styles, the styles make fights, they complement each other.
The one last thing I did want to ask was, West Side Story is one of my favorite musical movies, and I know you have a history obviously in the theater. What role on Broadway what's your dream Broadway role?
Oh. How many hours you got on that one? But you know what? If I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise. But there are many characters I do love, and some of them won't make sense. Velma Kelly is like a touchstone, you know? I actually really love the Broadway production of Chicago because it's simple. It's not doing too much. It stands on its own. It's why it's ran for so many years, you know what I mean? It will never go out of style. I will play Velma Kelly one day. I don't know when that day will be. But I've got some things up my sleeves, which is why I'm not telling you my ultimate goal, because I want you to be surprised when I do it.
Love hurts.
Talk about that to me.